Sad.
Yeah.
Another one not in service.
We'd like to remind passengers on the upper deck to please remain seated while the vehicle is in motion and to keep hands, arms, legs and heads within the sides and rear walls of the vehicle at all times. Thank you very much. We're now approaching the town of Windermere, not to be confused with the lake, which is about a mile and a quarter away. Originally called Birthwaite, this tiny hamlet grew with the arrival of the railway in Victorian times. When the train station was named Windermere, the growing town also adopted the name. The railway is one of the easiest ways of getting here, but faced a lot of opposition when it was being built. Even the poet William Wordsworth was against it, writing several letters to London newspapers. The railway helped tourists visit the Lake District for the first time. In the first year, almost 120,000 visitors came by train, with the option of being transported to the lake shore by horse and carriage. Today, you can take the bus or enjoy the stroll.
The next stop is Bowness Pier. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We will soon be passing the Baddeley Clock Tower, which marks the boundary between Windermere and Bowness on Windermere. It was built in 1907 in memory of Mountford John Bird Baddeley, a local author of travel and guidebooks, and whose works are believed to have inspired Alfred Wainwright to write his famous Lake District guides. now approaching the town centre of Bowness Pier. Like Windermere itself, Bowness expanded massively in the 19th century on the back of the tourist trade, although there was a small fishing village in the shorter road dating back to the 14th century. This end of the town is the main shopping area, with the lake a little further on. It was also home to the World of Vehicles spotting attraction, where you can see the favourite You'll soon see the special feature that is Windermere. This is England's largest lake. It's over 2.5 miles long, just under a mile wide. It's a finger lake, which formed around 13,000 years ago, and the melted into glaciers that attract them to floating. The lake's name translates from the ancient Norse word Windermere, and the Near means lake. But over the course of time, it became Windermere, and then Windermere. The lake has a number of small wooded islands. These are owned by the National Trust and accessible by boat. The largest island is Bella, named after Isabella, the wife of John Curwen, who completed the unusual circular house on the island. However, the island has been inhabited periodically since Roman times. There was also a 13th century manor house built for William de Lindsay, which was abandoned in the 14th century.
The next stop is Bowness Pier. Please ring the bell if you wish to alight here.
We will shortly be arriving at Bowness Pier. Please note, some journeys will terminate here. If the bus turns into the pier concourse, it's terminated here. If not, it's continuing to Breakaway Cove. Here is one of three main pier areas on the lake, along with lakeside to the south and Windermere to the north. For anyone wishing to take a cruise on the lake, the ticket office for Windermere Lake Cruises is on the pier concourse. If you're leaving us here, please check here.
When you got 6 out,
I'll get tired.
Do you put your pill, Bob? Oh. Calvert in the hill somewhere up that way.
That's really for Bowness. You there of one of our biggest sister ships on the left. That's Teal, built back in 1936. 250 tons of it with a crew of 6 ships carry up to 520 passengers. And we've got another just like it, Swan, which was later in 1938. Also operating on
Hey, look at that cafe up there. Let's look like upstairs view.
So good morning folks, welcome aboard Miss Lakeland on this red cruise northbound to Waterhead Ambleside Pier. We have one stop on the way out, that's at Brockhole, the National Park Visitor Centre. As we start our journey, I'm obliged to make a safety announcement, so please listen carefully. This vessel is equipped with a full complement of life-saving equipment, comprising life rings and self-inflating life rafts, which are situated around the outside of the upper deck. We also have adult, child and infant life jackets aboard. For the folks upstairs, please don't stand on the seats or lean over the safety rails. This is a no smoking vessel, and that includes the use of e-cigarettes. Children must be supervised at all times, and in the unlikely event anything goes wrong, all we ask is that you stay calm and seated and follow our instructions. You can find the toilets on the rear deck where you came aboard, and in a short while my colleague will be opening the refreshments bar to the rear of the downstairs cabin. They should be happy to serve you tea, coffee, hot chocolate, chilled beers and wines, spirits, soft drinks, confectionery and crisps. Now we're sailing on Windermere. This is England's largest lake, 10.5 miles long by 1 mile wide. At its widest and its deepest, it's 67 metres deep. The lake contains around 69,000 million gallons of water, and every day up to 20 million gallons gets pumped out. That goes down to the folks in Manchester for use as drinking water. As we head up to Waterhead Ambleside Pier, with that one stop at Brockhole on the way up, I'll point out some items of interest along the way. Now coming up on our left hand side is an island called Lady Home. In the bare branches of Lady Home you should be able to see some distinctive black birds. They're some of our resident cormorants. Cormorants are a protected species in the UK after centuries of persecution by fishermen. That's because they eat up to twice their own body weight in fish every day. Unfortunately, with all the fish they eat, the cormorants produce a huge amount of waste, and their droppings slowly kill the trees that they most like to roost in. And that's why so many of the trees there on Lady Home are dead or dying. So that's Lady Home, and it's one of the messy cormorants on our left-hand side just now. The collection of dark buildings on our right hand side are the Windermere Jetty Museum. The Windermere Jetty has a wonderful collection of classic steam launches, vintage powerboats, traditional sailing dinghies, and much more besides. Well worth a visit. Windermere Jetty, the Museum of Boats, Steam and Stories on our right hand side.
It goes down the waterfall in a bit.
What?
It goes down the waterfall.
of Windermere. About 1 mile across here. You can see some intrepid swimmers looking to get in the lake here on our right hand side. This is the site of a classic open water swimming challenge. I don't think any of those are going for it, but the current record for swimming across the lake at this point is just 19 minutes and 20 seconds. Another classic challenge is to swim the length of Windermere, all 10.5 miles of it. In the summertime we regularly see seasoned open water swimmers. And you go at that. Most take 6 or 7 hours, maybe longer, to complete the 10.5 miles. But the record stands as an astonishing 3 hours and 48 minutes. And perhaps inevitably for some people, even 10.5 miles isn't far enough. They swim the double, swim the length of Windermere and back again in one go. 2017, a young lady from this part of the world broke that record. Her name Rebecca Lewis. Miss Lewis managed the 21 miles in a record-breaking 8 hours and 25 minutes, which is more than 10 minutes faster than the fastest ever man. So you go, girls.
Yeah.
couple of boats on our left with yellow sails. These are youngsters out from Windermere School, local Keep-Home school. This is their games lesson. Nice too. You see there's a couple of safety boats out with them. That's where the instructors are keeping them safe. Also teaching them the ropes. Here on our right we'll see some fine homes on the lake shore, including one just being built. Now it's impossible to get planning permission to build on a greenfield site on the shores of England's most famous lake. So if you want a new home, the only way to do it is do what these folks did: buy an existing property, knock it down and start again.
Yes, it is.
Now, Windermere is a freshwater lake. It's entirely rain-fed. There are 4 main rivers that fill Windermere, and just one that empties it. So in wet weather, the lake level rises rapidly and then drops away again much more slowly once the rain stops. The mouth of one of those 4 main feeder rivers is here on our right-hand side. This is the mouth of the Trout Beck. Almost completely blocking the mouth of the beck, you can see there's a shingle bank with lots of driftwood on it, as well as some Canada geese and cormorants at the moment. All that shingle and driftwood gets washed down the Trout Beck in stormy weather. Of the other 3 main rivers that fill the lake, one is in the southern basin, several miles behind us. That's called the Clumsy Beck. That brings water down from a much smaller lake, Esthwaite water. The 2 biggest feeder rivers are up at the top of the lake ahead of us. They're the rivers Roday and Braday. The Roday drains 2 more lakes, Rydal Water and Grasmere, down into Windermere, while the Braday drains Elter Water, the Langdale valleys.
Yes, I can, yes.
Opening up on our right-hand side now, White Cross Bay. Nowadays the site of one of the largest holiday parks in the Lake District. During the Second World War there was a very different activity here. A big aviation factory was built where Shorts Sunderland flying those huge seaplanes were constructed. The agreement with the landowner was that once the war was over, the factory and the village that housed the 1,500 workers and their families would all be knocked down. That's what happened. All that now remains is the large concrete slipway you can see standing at the head of the bay. That's where these enormous seaplanes with a wingspan of over 113 feet across were launched onto the surface of the lake to make their maiden flights. White Cross Bay. Now, up until 1853, this was known as Bowness Bay. And then in that year there was a tragic boating accident when two young men out fishing on the lake were caught by a sudden storm. Their little boat capsized. Their bodies were never recovered. And the boat washed up on the shores of what was then called Bowness Bay. It's a spot now marked by a little white cross, which you can see here on our right hand side. That cross, there's those unfortunate young men's names and the biblical inscription, watch therefore, for we know neither the day nor the hour. So Bowness Bay became White Cross Bay. Through the trees ahead and to our right, you see a big white house. That's the house of Brockhole. Brockhole was built in 1899. It was a summer home for a Manchester silk merchant, William Gaddam. William Gaddam employed a local nurseryman, Thomas Mawson, to design the gardens for him here at his summer home. Thomas Mawson went on to become internationally famous as a garden designer. What's less well known is that he's also credited with designing the first mosque ever to be built in London. It's called the Basil Mosque, and that was built in North London way back in 1926. The National Park Authority purchased the entire Brockhole estate in 1966, and it opened as the first visitor centre in any of the English national parks in 1969. Now we've got some folks to drop off and to pick up here, so we're going to make a brief landing here. Our colleague has already explained, I believe, that big Halloween events going on at the moment here. So if you haven't already booked in for activities here, there'll be very little, if anything, available for you. Any issues with that, have a chat with us once we've landed the boat. As we come into that, please remain seated from now on. Once we have the boat tied up alongside, we'll let you know when it's safe to stand and leave. This is Brockhole.
Look.
Yeah.
Dropping it off in a minute. Got the buildings up like that.
There we go, folks. Just a quick stop at Brockhole on up the lake now to our main stop at Waterhead, Bowness Pier. And welcome aboard to those just joining us.
Quieter than Blackpool, Tom.
What?
Bit quieter than Blackpool.
It is, yeah.
Now, if you look across the lake on our left-hand side, along the horizon, there's a splendid panorama of some of England's highest mountains. There are iconic fells with names like the Old Man of Palmerston, Weatherland, Crinkled Crags, off in the distance, Scarka Pike, England's highest mountain. Most distinctive of all, heading to our left, two rocky peaks with a V-shaped valley right between them. They're the Langdale Pikes. Pike and Stickle on the left, Harrison Stickle on the right, the V-shaped valley between them. That's called Dungeon Hill. And there'll be plenty of walkers up there now, I'm quite sure.
What? Might be that, what?
New plant, isn't it?
Oh,
So you're only going to get back down now.
Well, coming up on our right-hand side is one of the finest late Victorian homes on the shores of Windermere. This is called the Langdale Chase. The Langdale Chase was built in 1895 as the summer home for the family of a Lancashire cotton mill owner, George Howarth. Mr. Howarth spared no expense on his family's summer home. You see the beautiful boathouse in the foreground. That's where the family had their own private steam launch berth, and their butler lived in the accommodation above. You might have seen there's a Ivies and hard hats in there. I don't think they're guests. Well, I know they're not guests. The hotel is currently closed for a major refurbishment. It's going to take about a year to sort it out. So they do a sympathetic job. The Langdale Chase has it's now a hotel these days. Langdale Chase has the distinction of having featured in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Hitch was looking for somewhere to represent a typically extravagant North Country mansion in his melodrama The Paradigm Case. This is what he chose, the rather wonderful Langdale Chase on our right. And underneath that scaffolding you can see that the house doesn't look directly out over the lake. It's angled to face north and west. It's facing his namesakes, the Langdale Pikes, those two rocky peaks we looked at a short while ago. The crane there in amongst the trees, that's nothing to do with the refurbishment, that's a neighbouring property. You see lots of yachts on the hard standing there. The crane is to crane boats off the lake to avoid the worst of the winter weather. They'll apply that again to crane them back on in the spring. You see another crane here doing exactly that. So this on our right, this is one of the largest hotels in the national park. This is the Lowood Bay Hotel. Lowood started life as a coaching inn, servicing horse-drawn coaches travelling between the markets towns of Kendal and Keswick. The old coaching inn is still there, just left of centre. It's the little building with a balcony on the first floor. And Langdale Chase has carried on growing ever since. Over the rooftops of the Lowood you can see some of those distinctive dry stone walls that are such a feature of the local landscape. said that a competent waller can build up to 3 metres of dry stone wall in a single day. The number comes right down though for terrain where the first thing the waller has to do is dig a trench, fill it with rocks, to provide stable footings for the dry stone wall we see above ground. And they're called dry stone walls not because they stay dry, far from it, in what can be a very soggy part of the world. It's because there's no cement or mortar holding the stones up. Dry stone walls stand simply due to the skill of the wallers who build and constantly maintain them. The house is private, but the gardens are open to the public, and they're famous for their collection of rhododendrons and azaleas in a woodland setting. They're seen in May and June. If you do fancy a garden visit while you're up here at this time of year, do seek out whole herd gardens, really beautiful gardens at any time of year. The pretty wooded headland here on our right is called Home Crag. As we turn around Home Crag, we enter Waterhead Bay at the northern end of the lake. And as we clear Home Crag on our right, standing at the head of the bay is the bay, at the end of the lake is the mighty Fairfield Horseshoe. This is a huge horseshoe-shaped ring of high mountains rising to 2,864 feet above sea level. That's the 13th highest peak in the whole of the national park. Heading in the opposite direction on our left, Pride of our fleet. This is Tern, built in 1891. She's originally steam-powered, converted to diesel back in the 1950s. And Tern, they're part of our national maritime heritage. She's on the historic ships register, along with more celebrated vessels like HMS Victory and Cutty Sark. As we approach our next stop on Waterhead Ambleside Pier, a word about return trips. If you want to go straight back to Bowness, where we've come from, you can stay on board with us. We'll be stopping here just for a few minutes and then back down the lake we go. Alternatively, you can get off, explore Waterhead here, maybe take a stroll into Ambleside itself, which is just under a mile away, and catch a later sailing back down the lake. There are regular sailings throughout the afternoon. The final sailing of the day back to Bowness will be at 5:50. Now, if you need to get back to Brockholm, those who've got on at Brockholm, you need to catch a rather earlier sailing from here. See if I can work on that for you. If you catch the 4:50, you should be good to go. So 4:50 if you need to get back to Brockholm, otherwise 5:50 for the rest of you. And if you're finishing with us here now, we do hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Hopefully we'll see you back in the Lake District sometime soon. We have vessels operating every day of the year, apart from Christmas Day itself, weather permitting. We'll be delighted to welcome you back aboard through the changing seasons. As we come into land, once again, please take a seat and remain seated from now on. Once we have the boat tied up alongside, we'll let you know when it's safe for you to stand and leave.
What? Yellow what room? Oh yeah, oh god. See it. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, let me just do this now. This bus could go up here, I know.
Good morning, folks. Sorry, good afternoon, folks. Those who's joining us, welcome aboard Miss Lakeland on this red cruise southbound to Bowness on Windermere.
Oh, it's going to be back right over in England.
As we start our journey, for the newcomers aboard, I'm obliged to make a safety announcement, so please listen carefully. This vessel is equipped with a full complement of life-saving equipment, comprising life rings and self-inflating life rafts, which are situated around the outside of the upper deck. We also have adult, child and infant life jackets aboard. For the folks upstairs, please don't stand on the seats or lean over the safety rails. This is a no-smoking vessel, and that includes the use of e-cigarettes. Children must be supervised at all times, and in the unlikely event anything goes wrong, we ask you to stay calm and seated and follow our instructions. You'll find the toilets on the rear deck where you came aboard. And in a short while, my colleague will go in the refreshments bar to the rear of the downstairs cabin, where she'll be happy to serve you tea, coffee, hot chocolate, chilled beers and wines, spirits, soft drinks, confectionery, crisps. And we're sailing on Windermere. This is England's largest lake. It's 10.5 miles long by 1 mile wide. It's its widest and its deepest is 67 metres deep. And it contains around 69,000 million gallons of water. Every day up to 20 million gallons gets pumped out. That goes down to the folks in Manchester for use as drinking water. On this trip we're going to head across to the western shore ahead of us, follow that shoreline down to Bowness as we go and point out some items of interest. Right.
Just every look at this one, but it looks bigger than that's what's there.
We just need to ring, don't we?
bit late. We had to delay it for first because it's parts of it. See that overlook pulling into Stuart.
Here on our right hand side, over the grassland, you can see a fine Georgian property. That's called Brede Hall. Brede Hall was built in 1798 for the son of an attorney, George Law, who bankrupted himself building it. It's now owned by a local charity, the Brede Trust, and they offer young people the opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors here in the Lake District on and off the water. And just disappearing from view behind some trees, that's the fine Georgian property of Brede Hall. Ahead and to our right, in amongst the trees, you may be able to pick out a mock Tudor mansion. That's called Pullwood Manor. That was built in 1891 for Sir William Crossley. Sir William made his money in the early days of the automotive industry. Nowadays, Pullwood Manor is privatised. Headed to our right, in amongst the trees, you should be able to pick out Bray Castle. I'm not sure where you're looking. There are two tall, slender trees standing together. Castle, just to the left of those. Now, this is not a medieval castle. Bray was built in the 1840s for an eccentric retired Liverpool surgeon, James Dawson. Mrs. Dawson was married to a very wealthy gin heiress, and it was her money that funded the building of the castle, which these days opens as a family-friendly visitor attraction. And when she was just 16 years old, a young Beatrix Potter came to the Lake District for the very first time. Family holiday. Potter, their family stayed with friends here at Bray Castle. Beatrix spent a number of the Lake District on that trip, and later made her home just a few miles south of here, Hilton Hill top. Get a closer view of the turret of the castle in a minute or two's time. ships. That's Miss Cumbria 3. So several times a day on the Green Cruise. Almost vertically 200 feet down. That's what's Barrow Point. Look at these folks at Toot and hold up, shall we? That's what's Barrow Point. Now from here we get a lovely view of this peaceful western side of Windermere, autumn colours showing the woodland and farmland, much as it's been for many hundreds of years, with public access for several miles along this peaceful western shore, and that's largely down to the efforts of the famous children's author Beatrix Potter, who came to live on this side of the lake as a very wealthy woman. Miss Potter loved the Lake District, and she was horrified to see the eastern shore on our left-hand side being converted into grand private estates for rich industrialists and merchants. Miss Potter had married a local man, William Heelis. Mr. Heelis was a land agent, and whenever a farmer on this side of the lake was tempted to sell to the developers, the farmer would talk to the land agent would have a word with his wife, and Miss Potter would snap up the land for more than the developers were prepared to pay. By the time she died in 1943, Miss Potter had amassed 14 farms, over 4,000 acres of land, much of it on this side of Windermere, and she left it all to the nation. And that's why there's still public access for several miles along this peaceful western shore. So good for Beatrix Potter. Clay Pikes was very important to the local economy. As well as 500 years ago, Clay was a centre for charcoal production. The charcoal powered simple outdoor furnaces, which were set up on the slopes, converted locally mined iron ore into raw iron. Obviously, the timber of clay was used to make countless millions of bobbins, cotton reels, throughout the sheer cotton industry. That's Clay Pikes on our right. runs to establish the record. Fortunately, on his third run, it's England 2 flipped over, throwing all 3 crew members into the lake. One was drowned and the other 2 seriously injured, and Sir Henry himself died later that same day from the injuries he'd sustained. But he became the first person in history to hold up the world land speed record, which he'd already set at Daytona Beach in the US at around 235 miles an hour, and the world water speed record, which he set that fateful day at approximately 98 miles an hour. Standing at its sloping end. As the name suggests, the bark barn was used to store oak bark collected from the woods, transported to local tanneries for use in the leather making process. That's bark barn pig. If you cross the line on our left hand side, you'll see a wooded hill rising from the water's edge. There's the patch of rock and grassland near the top on the left hand side. That hill is called Forest Head. It's a tidal island that's islands 781 feet high, but it nonetheless had a big part to play in the history of hill walking in United Districts. In 1930 and 23-year-old lad from Blackburn in Lancashire came to the Lake District for the very first time. He got off the bus, went to Windermere Village, and strolled to the top of Forest Head there, and fell in love with the wonderful views of lakes and mountains all around him. His name was Alfred Wainwright. He went on to make it his life's work to produce the definitive walking guides to the Lake District Wells. These beautiful and illustrated in the guidebooks are still in regular use today. The stroll to the top of Forest Head there is certainly still worth the effort. The views from the summit every bit as good as they were in Wainwright's day. That's Forest Head. Across the lake on our left is just that. now the hotels, homes and shops from the starting point. Bowness on Windermere stretched across the hillside. Nowadays Bowness is the largest settlement on the shores of the lake, but it started life as a tiny fishing village. Locals would row out in little wooden boats and scrape a living catching fish. Then in 1847 the steam railways arrived, visitor numbers started to rise. A few canny locals realised they could make a living taking tourists out in their little wooden boats to enjoy the scenery. Those humble beginnings started a company that now runs 17 pleasure passenger vessels here on Windermere, including this later, the boat we're on now. We're called Windermere Lake Cruises, and we've done one of the top 5 full tourist attractions in the UK. We carried over 1.6 million passengers in 2019. We're a mainstay of the local economy and a major local employer. And remarkably, some of the major shareholders in the company are the direct descendants of those local fishing partners. We're still independent, but we're proud of it too. So as we approach Bowness, all of our return ships will go straight to please remain in your seats from now on. Once we have the boat tied up alongside, we'll let you know when it's safe for you to stand down.
It dropped have announcements on the downstairs. Good idea. Yeah. We've got to wait till the announcement says.
Okay folks, that's great. If you're disembarking, make your way to the rear deck. You're staying with us, we're going to be out in just over 5 minutes time.
Look, you can see it, look. That's where boats were parked, and we walked along. And right up Tip Road, look.
Yeah. The Magic Roundabout Cafe.
Now it's like there's
Oh, it does, yeah. Amazing. Huh.
down here, look.
Cookhouse. Yeah. All right, hang on. No, I've seen it. Yeah, just.
Come across, a bit like a passenger one.
Yeah.
While we're up there, I bet that was our train. Normal planes aren't allowed to go that low then.
Böyle yeni kesmeleri yok.
soon be passing the Bowness Clock Tower, which marks the boundary between Windermere and Bowness Pier. Originally called Birthwaite, this tiny hamlet grew with the arrival of the railway before it was. When the train station was named Windermere, the growing town also adopted the name. The railway is one of the easiest ways of getting there, but faced a lot of opposition when it was being built. Even the poet William Wordsworth was against it, writing several letters to one of the newspapers. The railway helped tourists visit the Lake District for the first time. In the first year, over 120,000 visitors came by train, the luxury of being transported to the lake shore by horse and carriage. Then you can take the bus or enjoy the stroll. We'll shortly be arriving at Windermere Station. Please change here for the number 6 service to Bowness Barrow. Seasonal, 8 service to Reading, Westwater and Penrith. The 555 service to Keswick, Kendal and Lancaster. As we turn into the station, we'll pass the Tourist Information Centre. Windermere train station used to be much bigger with 4 platforms and a large canopy. It's now part of the supermarket.
Right, that's where our journey ends. Whoa.